Hello everyone. Today we are going to learn about authentication with JSON Web Token. But before deep dive into JSON Web Token, let's first understand the sign up process. So, user enter a credential and click on sign up button. Behind the scene, authentication server take the password, add the salt and use bcrypt algorithm to generate a hash and then saved into user database with the key. Key can be anything. For our case, it's a username. So the question is why we are using bcrypt algorithm and the salt to generate a hash. We are using bcrypt algorithm because the bcrypt algorithm is specially designed algorithm which works very slowly. So it means it takes a lot of time to generate a hash. It is designed because in case our user database compromised with hackers, they should not able to generate the hash code as soon as possible because they are going to put a lot of combinations of password to generate a hash. If it's slow, then it will take a lot of time. They need a lot of time to use multiple combinations. Addition to this, we are using salt also. So the reason behind of using salt is even if the hacker able to generate a hash from a password, then that password is combination of password plus salt. So it means like user have to identify the salt also to get the real password. So this way we increase the security for our password. Even in the case our user database compromised with hackers, it's not an easy for hacker to get the real password. Now let's understand the login process. Now user enter their credential again on login page and click on login button. Behind the scene authentication server use same bcrypt algorithm and salt to generate the hash. And by the help of key, which is username in our case, fetch the hash saved in user database. After that it compare the hash. If the hashes are equal, then it means user is a valid user. If they are not equal, it means either the password is wrong or username is wrong. So it means the user is not a valid user. Now we understand the sign up and login process. Now let's understand how we can generate JSON Web Token and how JSON Web Token help us to validate the user. Now let's extend the login process to generate JSON Web Token also. So when user enter a credential and click on login button, behind the scene authentication server first compare the hash. If hash are equal, after that authentication server generate a JSON Web Token. Authentication server use header, payload, private key plus public key to generate a secure JSON Web Token and give it back to client. Now let's see how JSON Web Token looks like and what data it contains. JSON Web Token consists of three parts. As you can see, this JSON Web Token, it has red, purple and blue color separated with dot. So the red color is base64 encoded, which contains payload algorithm and type, which algorithm is used to generate this JSON Web Token. The second part is payload, which can contain any information of user. For example, in our case, it's a username. The third part is signature itself. To generate the signature, we use base64 encoded header, payload, public plus private key to generate this blue color signature. And this public and private key is part of a symmetric key. So it means anything signed with private key, we can validate with the help of public key that it's a valid signature. And this private key is always kept secure on authentication server, but public key can be shared with another resources. We will see in detail how validation works in another resources. Now in this step we already created a JSON Web Token, validates user, and the JSON Web Token is with client. Now let's see how to validate user on the another resources or another server. Now let's see how to validate user on another resource server. So once the client has JSON Web Token, now client requests to another resource server with the JSON Web Token in authorization header. Now resource server hit authentication server and fetch all the public keys available. Now with the help of public key, resource server validate JSON Web Token. If the token is valid, then resource server serve the request. And resource server also save the keys in Redis or in cache. It can be in memory also, so that resource server don't need to hit the authentication server every time to fetch the public keys. So this is a short video to explain your authentication process with the help of JSON Web Token. Thank you for watching. If you have any other question, please feel free to leave them in the comment section. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel for more information. Stay tuned for the next video.